Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and if there's one thing I like in life, it's Rolos. Okay, if other than chocolates, I also like when commercial games release their source code, and that's what exactly we're talking about today. A game, okay, confession time, never actually heard of this one before, but a game called Overgrowth from Wolfire, who do make a game, Receiver, I have heard about. They just released the source code to this. So Overgrowth, the best I think I can describe this from the description is, it is a martial arts rabbit game. So a lot of games out there with lupine and antagonists or protagonists out there. This one actually looks really kind of cool. It's mutant animals fist fighting each other, and it's built on a custom game engine, and that custom game engine is now available open source along with this game's source code. Now the game itself isn't fully released. You still need the assets for it. We'll get to the details of that in just a second. But Wolfire did publish this up on their blog, so they are open sourcing it. We'll get into some of the details there in a second. In terms of games Wolfire makes, they make Receiver 1 and 2, Overgrowth, Lugaroo, I think this is an old version of it, Black Shade for the iPhone. So again, not a publisher I'm incredibly well aware of. This is the only game I actually have heard of here, but this is the one they have open sourced, and here is the announcement for it. They've worked on this for 14 years, longest running ongoing project. Massive reason why we continue to work on the game is fantastic fan response. Not only have people all over the globe continued to play and enjoy Overgrowth for years, but the community has had an enormous impact on the project as well. From helpful feedback that led to better updates, to amazing modders who expand what you can do in the game, to the talented artists and creators who expand upon Overgrowth's style and lore. This game has been shaped and crafted in no small part by the people who play it. So what's the next step? How do we honor the community that helped build this game? We are pleased to announce that Overgrowth's code is now open source. Not only that, but they're permanently reducing the game's price a third worldwide from $29 to basically $20 US. Code is open source. The assets are not. Reason is we don't want someone to build and sell Overgrowth on their own. Plus, of course, they can continue to make money, and I like that. I think almost every game that can do this should do this. So it can give them a kind of a bit of a second life, in my opinion. They're using the Apache 2 license, which alongside like the likes of MIT and zlib is a legit, almost no strings attached kind of open source license. So for example, if you wanted to take the source code from this and put it into another game engine, you theoretically could. It is easy to compile and run the official Overgrowth game using the open source. You don't need a lot of technical knowledge to get started. This is not the next big engine. Since great open source game engines such as Godot already exist, using Overgrowth's engine for your next project is a bad choice in almost all cases. So this is very much a learning project. Are we interested in looking at what shipped games can look like? So if you want to see what a shipped game actual code does look like, that's what you can do here, how other people implement stuff. They've got some specific code you can check out, such as their procedural animation system. That could potentially be lifted and put into another game engine such as this, by the way. That's the nice thing about open source. And if you want a modder, you can now do total conversion mods. So this really kind of expands upon what they can do. So kind of a neat announcement. For the most part, we got the code is now up on GitHub. I will, of course, have this in the linked article down below. It is, again, under the Apache 2 license. It just went up, so it was published about 10 days ago. They just announced this, I think it was yesterday. By the way, thank you to the person on Twitter that made me aware of this one. Like I said, this isn't actually a game I know about, so I would not have been able to cover this news. But whenever a commercial game source code is released, I always do like to cover it. You can see some of the details of kind of a repeat of what we did earlier on. If you want to go ahead and compile this one, the instructions are available right here. And the cool thing here is it will actually work with the most modern and newest version of Visual Studio, which I've got sick of having Visual Studio 2017, 2019, 2015, 2017 build tools and all that crap installed. So right now, my machine has just Visual Studio 2022 installed on it. So I love reading that. So really all you need the newest version as well as CMake. Should be pretty straightforward to get it to compile. The instructions are right here. As you can see, this also works on macOS and on Linux. So no matter which platform you're on, you are good to go. Now the other thing you do whenever source code is released, you look for swears. That's just the natural thing to do. So you come up here and you find out how many times in this repository did they use that word. And I have to give these people credit at Wolfire Games. They are more mature than I am. Let's use the big bad and nothing there. But of course, we're going to check to see how many times they used the word hack. And yeah, 132 times they used hack variables. So I do appreciate that they're not completely flawless in their commenting, but it's actually kind of shocking to see that there's no swear words in here. There's always swear words in public source. I think this may be the first time I've ever not seen swearing in the comments, so hey, kudos to you. If you're interested in terms of the source code, this is a C++ based project, so you come on in here. Here's the game's main source code, for example, and C++. And I think based on the timeline of it, it's probably C++ 11-ish code. I'm not sure. I'm talking out my butt on that one. All of the tools are available here as well. It is also broken into, there's a tools category here. That seems to be more script tools, so tools are actually in the code. So all of the various different pieces, all the dependencies are in here. All of the various different libraries it works with are in here. Should make it easy to build. The instructions are all there. And once again, I am very excited to see that it works with Visual Studio 2022 because I want to go as long as possible without installing an earlier version because, hey, that's me. So anyways, that is the announcement. It is Overgrowth. As they mentioned earlier on, it is also discounted worldwide. So they did a $10 drop in price. You can grab it for 20 bucks. Do keep in mind, if you build the code, you still need the assets from the commercial game to run it. And I really wish more and more developers would take this approach. Kudos to you, Wolfire, for releasing the source code here. It does extend the life of your game. It does help the community. It kind of guarantees that your game will never die, which is a smart move. And again, I wish every developer out there that has a game that's getting a little bit on in the tooth, as long as you don't have, licensing encumbrance. So some people license their game. So if you made, say, a Lithtech game or a Renderware game in the past, you probably can't release the source code just because the engine license wouldn't let you do it. But if you develop your own engine in-house like they have here, release the code. It will help extend the viability of your game. Hopefully they see an uptick in sales because of this move. And yeah, I like it. So let me know what you think. Also, let me know what other game engine or game out there that you would love to see the source code released for. Something that's, again, this is 14 years old, but it's not 14 years old as far as Steam goes. I guess apparently it was published in 2017. Again, I've never heard of this particular game, but it is cross-platform. It is very positively reviewed, so the community does seem to like it. And nice to see them releasing the code. So Wolfire Games, good on you. Community, what do you guys think? Let me know. Comments down below. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.